Noggin knockers. Today what we'll be making is Kim's tuna salad. We'll basically have 2 cans of chunk tuna in water, or you can use that in oil, either one. We'll have about a teaspoon of chopped celery, which is about a quarter of a stalk, and then also about a tablespoon of chopped onion. We're using yellow onion, or you can use red. We'll have Kraft light salad dressing. I prefer salad dressing over mayo because of its sweetness in there. Then we'll also be adding a little pinch of Old Bay seasoning, along with about a quarter of a teaspoon, which is a small amount of poultry seasoning. It's good in chicken salad also, hence poultry. And then we're also going to use ground black pepper and then paprika, 2 boiled eggs. So we'll go ahead and get this thing started so we can have a nice little batch of tuna that's 4 servings. Okay, here we have our ingredients we'll be using. We have the 2 cans of tuna and water, and that's just a great value kind. We also have our Old Bay seasoning, a small glass bowl. We have paprika here, and we'll just be using a little bit of that to kind of put on top of the tuna. It gives it a nice color and a little added flavor. We also have poultry seasoning here, light Miracle Whip, or you can use regular. You can use mayonnaise also. One added thing I forgot, pickle relish. We're going to put a little bit of pickle relish in there. And then we have here about a tablespoon of chopped yellow onion, and then some celery here. And this is about a quarter of a stalk of celery. And it makes about close to a teaspoon. Looks like it half to close up to a teaspoon. And that's cut up very fine, but it's not minced. Okay, so first what we want to do is drain our tuna. Make sure you drain that well, and then just put that in there out of the can. If you notice a lot of moisture in there, I'm left-handed, so this is going to be a little different for me, but if you notice a lot of moisture still in that can, coming out of the can I should say, you're going to want to get that out of there. I can show you a quick way to do that. See, like that there's, see, nice little bits of water on there still from the tuna there. So we don't want it to be too watery. That's one of the downsides to using light salad dressing. Matter of fact, I think instead of well, we'll go ahead and use the light. That's what I stick with. A lot of times when you use the light products, they're a little more watery. So what you will do to get some of that water off is just take a paper towel and just kind of dap that with the paper towel. Stir it up, because you don't want watery tuna. It's not very good, and it's especially if you're serving it at a lunch or something like that for a friend or family. It's just not good watery. Okay, so we have the tuna there, and next what we'll go ahead and do is add some of our poultry seasoning. And I said about a quarter of a teaspoon. I can pretty much measure that out to a quarter of a teaspoon, or if you have measuring spoons, that's fine too. That's about a quarter of a teaspoon. That in there. And that's paprika. We don't want to put that in there yet. And then Old Bay seasoning, we're just going to put a little couple, 1, 2 of those. That's fine on that. And then for our salad dressing, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to get a spoon here, and we'll go ahead and put that in there. And you're going to want to just kind of estimate on the creaminess that you want the tuna. We like ours around here pretty creamy, so put that in there. And this is probably going to be, that's probably about 1/4 of a cup there, so we're going to probably go with almost a 1/2 cup. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And just get that off of there. Since our hands are clean there, we can just scrape that off of there. I'll set there. Okay, and like I say, this makes 4 servings. So that'll be enough for 4 people, or if you want to make this for yourself, you can. Let's see, we're going to get some black pepper going on. And the black pepper, you can just kind of estimate You like it have a little bit of kick, but not a whole lot. You don't want it just hot or, you know, spicy. Okay, and now we're going to put some pickle relish in there. This is another thing. You don't want to, if you're using the squeeze bottle, be careful, because a lot of times the liquids will just run in there and no pickle relish per se. So what I like to do, get another napkin here. I like to just kind of make sure, just test it. Okay, it's fine. You don't want anything to come out. There we go. And just kind of douse it in there. Don't go to squeezing this real hard because you'll get a lot of excess juice. Just kind of shake it like you do the old glass Heinz ketchup bottles. You just have to kind of shake those to get the ketchup out without it gushing everywhere. The same way with this. Okay. So we got that, and then we're going to put our onions and celery in there. That's why I like to put stuff on a paper plate. I mentioned in a couple of my videos, just pour it in there. Okay. Little piece of foil there that wants to be part of the video. Okay. Our eggs are boiling. I should have had those boiled already, but that's fine. And you're basically just going to want to stir this up good. This will be nice and creamy. That's just how we like it. If you like your tuna chunkier, you don't have to break some of those big chunks down, but certain brands of tuna are more chunky than others, so keep that in mind. Star Kiss makes a pretty chunky brand, but we like ours to be broken down some, and you can just do that with a fork like I'm doing. Stir it up really good. Okay. There's that. Alright. Now next what we would do is put our eggs in here. When those get done boiling, I'll add those to it, and then it'll be pretty much done, and we'll top it off with our paprika. We'll sprinkle some of that on the top. And we'll have a batch of tuna for 4. See you back in a minute. Okay, we're back with our tuna, and you're probably wondering, there we go, I just had it in the refrigerator there for a little bit set, and you're probably wondering why I have this egg sitting on the foil. Well, that's one that I already peeled, and I'm going to kind of show you the easiest way to peel a boiled egg. A lot of people have a problem with them tearing up, but I'm going to show you a simple way. Basically, you get it started, and when you first crack that baby, break the membrane, which is a little piece of skin there. You can see that? It looks like a little thin layer of skin, and generally it'll just pull off like that. Very simple. I also have a paper towel handy because a lot of times the eggs get water on the insides of them. So in the shell. So we don't want that. And that one there peeled just a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so we got pretty much a clean bill of health going there on that egg. And then also I like to rinse them off because there's nothing worse than biting into a nice fat tuna sandwich and getting a shell. And I got a paper towel here, and we're basically just going to take those and dry them off really good. Like I say, you don't want all that moisture, just like you don't in your tuna. You definitely don't want it coming from the eggs either. So just dry those babies off. Just sit them back there on the foil. The water there. Okay, now what this deal here is, basically this is an egg. You put the egg on there, turn it one way, turn it the other, and chops it up for you. So that way you don't have to use a knife doing the work. So how this works, we'll go ahead and sit our bowl there. You just put the egg on there like so. 1. And then what I'll do is take that off of there. You see a little piece of egg fell down in there. Turn it the opposite way. 2. Oops. I want to kind of hold, usually I hold that on there. There's that 1 egg. And you don't have to put 2 eggs in your tuna if you don't want to, but big on protein, so I'm going with 2 eggs instead of 1. And I'll give you the nutritional ingredients on this here in a second. And there we go. 1 more. Out. There you go. Okay, and that makes it so much easier. And then we'll just go back to mixing it up. And see, your tuna is mixing in good with those egg pieces, and they're already cut up. Or you can just cut them with a knife if you don't have that little egg gadget there. I have a lot of these little gadgets because, like I say, I used to go to school for cooking, so I try to pick up some of those little extra gadgets, which makes things a lot simpler sometime in the kitchen. And I like the eggs in the chunks, like pieces like that. Nice chunky piece like this here. You don't want those too small, but to each his own. Basically, going to stir this up. Come back and look at the finished product here in a second. Okay, basically this is our paprika. I'm just going to sprinkle some of that on the top. Give it a nice red color. And when you go to spoon or fork this out of there on crackers or whatever, it'll blend in. It also adds a little flavor. And then our fork sitting over there on my recycled foil. Okay. And what I like to do with this is let it set overnight. It makes a nice hearty bowl. And let me come back here with the nutritional information for you in just a second. Okay, here's our finished product. And this is mainly a nice meal if you want to have a light lunch. Or you can even have it for a dinner. You may want to double up on the servings. So it's about 4 servings. Could possibly be 5 depending on how much you eat. Because it's about a quarter of a cup is actually what it is per serving. However, like myself, I would almost put a cup on a nice, make a nice sandwich. And it would be a very thick sandwich. I don't mess around with little thin sandwiches. Okay, but anyway, it has 127 calories. 417 grams of sodium, which is a little bit high, but let's see, and then 6 grams of fat, and then it's got 8 grams of protein. So not too bad. If you're watching your salt, 417 grams is actually not bad considering what you use as the ingredient. It would have been less than that had I not used the chicken poultry seasoning. It would have been a lot less than that, but I didn't have the right type of Mrs. Dash I wanted to put in this. That's why I didn't use it. But other than that, a little steep on the sodium, but other than that, it's all good. And it tastes great. So go ahead, get you some tuna, stock up on some salad dressing, and get your crunch on.